it's a really hot field. Data scientist position, that's the sexiest kind of the job in the last 2-3 years. But then people don't understand, what goes into building a data scientist.
So Jaspreet, it's great to have you on this video. Thank you for taking out your time for this.
Yeah, thanks, Nikhil, for having me, and hope people would, get some insights through via this video, and it would be great if this video helps a lot of people.
So you're currently working in Canada as the head of data and analytics at Pluto. So can you tell the audience a little bit more about your role?
Yeah, sure. So I head the data and analytics team in terms of, and what do I mean by that is, that my team is responsible for, creating the data infrastructure for the entire organization. And via that, we enable the different functions with respect to insights so that, they can take, really quick decisions, and also with respect to understand, what things are not working for them, and quickly take, pivot if they have to. So those are the things, which my team handles with respect to data and analytics. And my team cuts across all the horizontals or the verticals of the company. So data is needed everywhere in all the functions. So that's what we do. We are data enablers, and for all the functions, and data is infused in all the processes for effective decision making.
Now, you graduated in mechanical engineering, like most of us. Even I'm a mechanical engineer. So how did you transition from a mechanical engineer to an analytical field, to a data science field?
Right. So that's a really big pivot, which I did. Because back home in India, I'm from a small town called Ludhiana in Punjab, and I didn't have that much exposure, when I was young. So it was like, okay, if somebody's studying, take science or take medical. And if somebody's taking science, then after that, the career path used to be, okay, it's quite natural you're going to go into engineering. And the college, which I did my engineering in, that was known for mechanical engineering. And I didn't give that much thought at that time because I always used to be good at maths. So it was kind of a natural progression with me, okay, that I'm going to do engineering. I didn't had an idea, okay, what kind of engineering I'm going to do. So it was just that college was known for mechanical engineering. I was like, okay, let's do it. So that's how, I got into engineering. I did engineering, and after that, I worked for 1 year. I didn't like that much because I kind of, felt that my forte is into maths and how I can use maths to kind of, grow in my career. So that's when, I started kind of researching a lot what I can do in future. So that's when, I decided, okay, let me go for an MBA. So I did an MBA in Bombay after that. And immediately I started working with a company called Satyam Computers at that time. And that's where, I started working as an analyst. And that's where, I saw that, okay, yes, this is something which I would like to do, which has a lot to do with maths, wherein, I can, use a lot of tools and techniques and help the business grow. So that's where, it all sparked in terms of getting into analytics. And slowly, I built my profile from there, starting from Satyam, then went to also a bigger IT company called HCL in India. From there, went to Accenture, wherein, I kind of set up a team as well for Accenture for sales analytics. And that's where I saw that, yes, I'm on the right path. But then again, I could see that I'm limiting my abilities. I'm just, kind of working on few tools and techniques. I really wanted to get into proper analytics, proper data science field and all. So that's where, I again started researching, okay, if there is something available in India at that time, which, for example, a 1-year course or something of that sort, but I couldn't find anything in India, which was really relevant. And that's when I started looking globally. I applied in Spain as well. I applied in France as well. I was almost due to go to Spain, but then again, I kind of, I was applying in US as well. And the US, I could see that they had that kind of an infrastructure and ecosystem for analytics and data science. And they really had well-established courses and well-established colleges as well. So that's when, I went to Michigan State over there, which is a 1-year program, which is really good. And I already had a lot of experience behind me. So after that 1-year program, I started off really well in US. And that's how, I have built my experience. And that's why I didn't had any challenge when I decided to move to Canada. And it was easy for me to, just take the next step, come here, talk to employers, because I already had that kind of experience, management experience. And that's how, I was hired as head of data and analytics at Pluto.
Now, oftentimes graduates are not sure what they should pursue their career in. So, if you had the opportunity to go back in time to a younger version of yourself who just graduated from the college as a mechanical engineer, what advice would you give him?
I would say just, step back, think about what you want to do in future. Most of the time it's not clear. It wasn't clear to me as well when I was that young. But then again, you always know, what you're good at and what things you want to do. Sometimes it's a hobby, which you really want to pursue and make a profession out of it. So that's what, a person really needs to step back and they need to research and they need to think a lot about it. Because most of the time it's like, we are living in a bubble. That's what happened with me as well, that, okay, I was living in a small town, I was living in a small bubble, and I was only meeting these many number of people who had the same kind of, idea of what a career can be in that particular city, in that particular state, that, okay, do science, do engineering, and then start working in some company and grow from there. But then again, once I started kind of researching, and that's what I would suggest anybody, if they can step back and then they start researching and also introspect, what makes you happy in terms of work, that's going to be, it's going to be a long road to understand, okay, what you want to do. But then once you find that, then it would be easier for you to, kind of consistently grow in that particular field and grow in that particular profession as well.
Now, if a person wants to work in the data or analytical field, would you recommend that person should learn how to code? Maybe that person is not from a computer science background. So do you recommend that coding is essential?
Yes. Because coding is inherent in whatever we do. It's not only for data science and analytics, but even for normal positions like, analyst and all. Everybody has to, for example, work on SQL. So that's most widely used, coding language right now. And everybody should know that if somebody wants to get into analytics and data science, and then, ultimately a person will grow into, using other tools, for example, Python, R, and then, start kind of building their expertise in those tools as well. And yes, person definitely should know a little bit about coding. Yes. And they should have interest in coding as well. Because if they don't have interest in coding, then again, coming back to the same previous question which we had, if they don't like doing coding, then they won't do that well in that field as well. But then again, with coding as well, it's also that the person then slowly should start build their business knowledge as well, in terms of, understanding about different domains as well. Because at a certain time, the person is going to, if it's only technical, the person is going to stagnate. Okay, that we know that this is the problem technically, and these are the things which can be done. But it really benefits if person understands holistically, okay, what is the kind of problem we are trying to solve with respect to the business as well. So that's something, which really kind of gives the person satisfaction. Okay, I'm not only doing coding in the back end, but I do understand, whatever I'm doing at the back end, how it's helping the company at the front end, in terms of, whatever part I did, how does it fixes in the bigger aspect of the company's vision, and how does it affect company's top line or company's bottom line?
So based on your experience, what's the average salary a person can get in Toronto, Canada, when they are in the analytical field?
Right. So it depends on, what level the person starts. Say, for example, from as an analyst, so the average is around $60,000 to $65,000. And then as the person starts growing and, gains experience and starts learning a lot about different domains, business, and also, starts to grow in the technical field as well with respect to new tools and technologies, I think a senior analyst would easily earn around $75 to $80,000. A manager goes around $100,000, depending upon the company. And then for the senior manager, director, and above, they easily earn around $120,000 plus.
Now, after working for a few years in the analytical field, what are the most important lessons which you have learned in your life?
Right. Again, first thing that person should love what he's doing. And in terms of, again, coming back to coding, because that's what people get into, that, okay, it's a really hot field. Data scientist position, that's the sexiest kind of the job in the last 2-3 years. But then people don't understand, what goes into building a data scientist. There are a lot of things which go into it. It's not only, that somebody is, for example, working on Python R and they're just, running algos. So a person needs to understand the maths behind it, that how everything is being constructed, but then again, also understand the business aspect of it as well. So that's the thing, which a person needs to understand, that, okay, if you want to get into analytics and data science, you should have that kind of mindset, first of all, that yes, I really want to do data science and analytics. And these are the things, which I want to do. Because like it's a vast jungle, to be really honest, analytics and data science. And person can do a lot of things, person can learn a lot of things. And again, even if we see our industry, it's like new tools and technologies, they are always coming up in a span of 1 to 2 years. So a person should always be curious enough as well in terms of, knowing, okay, what's new there in the market. Because something which worked in the last 2 years, it might be obsolete now. There might be a really better tool or better technique which you can which you can implement. And that's what, I joke around with my friends as well, that if I look at my work 2 years back, I would laugh at my work that, okay, why did I do that? and that's because in the last 2 years, I have grown a lot and I know a lot of new things now and better ways to do that. So that's all about it, in terms of the person should be curious and should have that learning mentality that, okay, new things are going to keep on coming. So you should be curious enough to go out and learn about it. And when it comes down to even data science, these days, there are a lot of platforms, which the person can go on. For example, like Kaggle, India has Analytics Vidya. So those kind of platforms, which easily a person can go on, a novice person, he can start learning from there. And they have competitions as well. So you can easily compare your work with other people as well. And that's the best way to learn as well, because you can know, okay, if somebody came for second and third, that this is the approach they took and this is the way they coded. So that's where, a person can easily go and learn about this field as well. A person doesn't need to be, educated in data science or analytics. And like I have seen a lot of really great data scientists coming from really weird fields, to be really honest. Like one of my really good friend in US, he kind of used to be a doctor. And then he just got interested in data science. He kind of, developed himself individually. And now he's working as a principal data scientist at one of the companies. And he's really good at it.
I think, so there are some people who are generally very interested in that particular field, but then there are some people who just go with the flow. For example, 10 years back, maybe 2005, 2006, investment banking was the thing back then. It was like the hot field. Then it became consulting, where everyone wanted to go into consulting field. And right now, a lot of people aspire to move into a data science field or the analytics field altogether. So yeah, it's I think people go with the flow as well at times.
Yeah, I think it keeps on changing. Like, I think 4 or 5 years back, yeah, you're right. It came down to data science. And then when I was working in data science, many people were reaching out to me how to get into data science. And immediately after that, 1 or 2 years, RPA came in, robotic process automation. And after that, blockchain came in. So I don't know, now it's Bitcoins and all. So a lot of things, keep on coming in. But then again, the basic premise, with respect to data science and analytics, it has always been that, yes, you should be good at producing insights when it comes down to business. And that's where, a lot of the companies go wrong, that they think that if they have some AI tool, that kind of tool, they just plug in into their business processes, it's going to do wonders for them. But then again, that's a recipe for disaster. They start building up those kind of teams. They have no idea what they want to do, what kind of benefits they want to derive from there. So that's a challenge, and it's a frustration for both the business and also the people who are working as data scientists. So it goes both ways.
What's the biggest challenge you have with your specific role right now?
Like we are a startup, so it's like, we are building a lot of new stuff. And as in the last 10 to 11 months, the different functions I've seen that, okay, by using data, how it can benefit them, they have become really data hungry. So that's one of the challenges, that it's like they know if they use data, they'll grow at a really rapid pace. They can make really effective decisions. And for that, the challenge comes in the problem of plenty, So now we are already a startup. We already have a lot of work, in terms of we have 20 things to do in a week, and we only have time for 3 or 4 things to do. So that's the challenge, which we have with respect to everything, not only data and analytics. And that again comes down to, ruthless prioritization. So that's what we do. That, okay, there are 20 things which we want to do, but then only 3 or 4 things are going to get done. So which are the most important ones? Which are the ones, which are really going to move the needle for the company with respect to their vision, mission, and all those objectives and all. So those are the challenges, which we face. So that's just one part of it, that, okay, these are the 3, 4 things we are going to do. But then again, whether we have that infrastructure or not. If we don't have that infrastructure, then because it's a young company, we don't know everything. We are also trying to figure out a lot of things. And just example, that we are getting into streaming analytics, real-time analytics, and we never had that kind of an infrastructure. So we have spent almost 1.5 months to kind of figure out various other tools which we can use and how those tools will integrate, creating a proof of concept. And then, now we are in a position after 1.5 months that, okay, yes, the system works, and this is how the system is going to work. This is how we are going to realize benefit out of it. But then again, for a startup, 1.5 months is a very big time. It's like 6 to 8 months for a big company.
Now, considering that you are currently working in a field where the core is to analyze data, so how do you continue to stay on top of things within your role?
Again, like, there are different portals, for example, like Kaggle, Analytics Vidya. So these are the portals, which really help to start with. And then also you can, like, you have other kind of, portals as well, like Coursera, Udemy, wherein, really, really good courses always keep on coming. So that's how, I keep myself updated. Like, I do like to read a lot. So that's why I mentioned portals like Kaggle and Analytics Vidya. Like, I don't get the time most of the time to, just go and participate in the competitions. But then it saves me a lot of time that once I know that, okay, there is a different kind of methodology somebody has used, which might be effective for us. So I do go there, read a lot. And another treasure trove is Medium, another website. And people, like, really good people write a lot of content on Medium. And that's a really good information source. And then at the end of the day, Google, which is the best source of all. If somebody is stuck, like I'm stuck about something and I'm looking to find a better way, I just go on Google and start, researching, reading from there. And that's how kind of, everything starts to connect together.
And finally, what advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue their career in the analytics field?
Right. So if person has an option, then definitely go for an education, a 1-year course or something at least, because that helps, that gives structure to, what the entire field is all about. You at least know, okay, what are the different pieces, which need to come together in an analytics and data science job field. And then also simultaneously, again, I can't stress enough with respect to these platforms, Kaggle and Analytics Vidya, go there, talk to people, participate in different competitions, to create your own projects, because that's something which is going to make you stand out. If, like, somebody has applied, two people have applied for the same position, and if somebody has a portfolio which they have created, so I would be interested in seeing that particular person's work, and I would be interested in what did they do, and what kind of coding they have done, and what is the final output, what they did, and especially what the thought process was for them to do that entire project. So that person is going to stand out with respect to somebody who doesn't have a portfolio. So if possible, create a portfolio. It really helps. And by portfolio, I don't mean, just create a kind of, put your code in GitHub, something of that sort. But then again, start writing as well. Create your own blog and start writing over there. If you have done certain project, do it there. And if you have done any kind of insight visualization, say, for example, Tableau, Power BI, publish them on their websites, share those links, because that's an easy access for any recruiter or any person to see that person's capability, to just go online and on their profile, they can see, okay, these are the things which they have done. And we have the proof of their work as well. So that's the things, which if a person does, he has a really high probability or high chance of breaking into this field and also kind of, getting hired as well.
So Jaspreet, it was great talking to you. All the points which you have shared in this video are absolutely valuable. Also, what I'm going to do is I will be adding the links for all your social media handles in the description of the video, so that in case someone is moving to Canada, they can always network with you. So again, thank you for taking all the time to be a part of this video, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Nikhil, thanks for having me. And I hope, through these videos, if somebody can benefit from it in terms of with respect to their job search, so that would be a great thing. And you're doing a really good cause with these videos, through which people can easily see, and they can formulate a strategy that if they're moving to Canada, or even not only Canada but some other country, they know what things to look for, what strategies they need to make, and they're much more well prepared than directly landing there or jumping there.